Unmute. Ah. Good afternoon to all the participants attending the final session of this webinar. I am Dr. J. Anita Ruth here to introduce this session speaker, Mr. Krish Venkat, CEO of Anant Global Consulting, who is a certified global psychologist and chartered accountant specialized in organizational and leadership psychology. Today he is going to give us an insight about do's and don'ts of group discussion. I hope this session will help the students to crack the corporate interview. I request the students to post their questions in the chat box. With this, I hand over the session to Mr. Krish Venkat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Just 1 minute. I'm setting. Let me share my PPT in a minute. So here we are. Okay. So a very warm afternoon, and it's such a pleasure in connecting with you all once again. Those of you who have listened to me already a day before, you would know me. For those of you who are joining for this session, I want to just remind you, I'm here as your friend. I'm not here to advise. I'm not here to disempower you. I'm here to empower you. I am here to remind you of the immense potential that you have inside you. Just to repeat what I said the other day, I'm an ardent follower of Dr. Abdul Kalam, and I am with the youth like you who are going to rule tomorrow's world. So it's such a pleasure connecting with you. Let's quickly get into this group discussion. Like I did the other day, here also I'm going deep into it. I'm not talking theory. I'm going to really help you use this as a reason or an excuse to build your personality. So at least some of you may have wanted to join some personality development course. Sometimes you tell yourself, I need to develop this, I need to develop that, I need to increase my self-belief and all that, communication skills. So even in this session, you will have a lot of direct and indirect hints about your own development. It's not just about how do I approach a GD for the purpose of a job. It's beyond that. It's going to help you transform yourself, right? So with that, let me start. So for the first and foremost, before anything else, I believe in simplifying things. You know, what is this demystifying group discussion? There's a lot of wrong opinions, wrong understanding about group discussion. People look at it, students especially look at it with fear, with awe, overwhelmed by this thing called group discussion. How do I manage and all that? So I want to first of all demystify, simplify this group discussion and say, what is it about for all? First thing, I'm reminded of my school days, where in the school we used to have a special march past. You know, we students used to be trained in that. I used to find, and I'm remembering that very vividly, and it used to be funny. Some students used to get confused with this thing called march past. March past is nothing but walking with slightly more discipline. It's just walking. The way you move your hands and you walk, the same thing, but with two differences. One, you're going to march along with a group of people, and do the same walking, you are going to move the hands further up in unison with others. Otherwise, it is just walking. But some of my own friends, you know, in those days we used to make fun of each other. I used to laugh at some people who would get confused with march past They will try something special, something new, and confuse themselves even more. The same thing applies to group discussion, right? Group discussion at the simplest level, it is a conversation with like-minded people, same age people, and people who are just like you, right? So let us see how what's the psychology behind the so-called group discussion. You know, in at least two states in India, Kerala and West Bengal, traditionally, especially in Kerala, outside tea shops, there would be people who wouldn't have studied beyond 8th or 10th, or a newspaper or a cup of tea. They would discuss about politics, they will discuss about economy, they will discuss about sport. They will have very, very solid opinions about most of these things. Social, political, economical, technological. They may not exactly know about technology, but they will have an opinion about all of this. And outside the tea shop, if you are going to just sit there silent and listen, you will learn a lot, right? The same is the case with today's coffee shops. Maybe the last 3 4 months you wouldn't have been in a coffee shop, but today's youngsters, the youth who sit in a coffee shop, or maybe even in your college, in the canteen or elsewhere on the ground, you sit round and talk. You would be talking about every aspect. You would be talking about economy, you would be talking about job opportunities, something about technology. You would have your own opinion. But the moment somebody comes and says, can you participate and can you come on the stage and the group of people are no, I'm not interested. So that's the psychology. The same is the case between walking and march past. The similar thing happens even in a group discussion, because it's a conversation which is slightly more conscious. You are conscious that you're going to discuss with the group, somebody is going to observe you, and it is a bit formal. When I say formal, the conversation is still informal. That's what I want to tell throughout this session. The conversation is still going to be informal, right? But the informal conversation with an agenda. That's what we mean. The secret here, when you say group discussion, the secret is giving an informal touch, like you sit with your friends and talk, except that you add etiquettes. Amongst your friends, you're not very conscious of etiquettes. You know, you may be very informal. Here you're informal. You adhere to some protocols, and you adhere to some basic etiquettes. Otherwise, it's an informal, a human touch, an informal touch. You have to retain the beauty of the human touch, being genuine, natural in your conversation. That is the secret. And in fact, like I said, this doesn't apply only to your group discussion for getting a job. This applies throughout your life. Whenever, you know, outside your comfort zone, outside your friend circle, whenever you're meeting new people, maybe for the group discussion, maybe after you get a job, you're meeting with people in your office, with your colleagues, with your vendors, with your customers. I think in most of the cases, this would apply. Being yourself, being natural, and being genuine. Except that we're going to talk about where you will slightly adjust, where you need to prepare and all that, right? The most important thing, beware of the TV channel like debates, whether it's a Diwali debate and just before Deepavali or on the day of Deepavali, there are some debates that happen on the television. Likewise, you open any TV news channel today, there is always an argument, you know, where people disrespect each other. Beware of that. The only thing you need to be watchful is don't get into that mode. That is a strict no. Not only for the GD, even for your official conversation. When I say official conversation, even an informal conversation inside your office. Don't hurt another person. You can disagree, but don't hurt. Whatever you have learned from the TV channels, from the media, forget it. It's very dangerous. So when you're having conversations with friends, what happens? I know it is informal, it is natural. You are yourself. You're not a different. You are yourself. You are natural, right? So now what happens if you are having the same conversation in a group discussion? Is it informal? Yes, you give that informal touch. You're not very mechanical and artificial. You're talking with human beings. So that informal touch will be there. You are natural? Yes. Are you yourself? Yes. There is no much difference between these three. But where it will differ is one, it's a new place. You're meeting new set of people when you're going for a GD, for a job interview. So it's a new place, new people. That is one difference. And with practice, and even mentally, if you are practicing, you can always get ready mentally to meet new people. This is another quality of any professional. Tomorrow you want to be an entrepreneur or you want to get into a job, whatever you want to be. You want to be a farmer, agriculturist. You need to know how to meet with new people, how to start a conversation with somebody. This is very important irrespective of your profession. Protocols. Now, the other difference between a conversation with your friends and group discussion is there are certain protocols. Somebody would be there, they would start the conversation, give you a certain time, they would give you a topic, and you would follow certain etiquettes, right? With your friends, you might just, hey, what, hey, whatever. But in a group discussion, except that, the rest of the informality will be there. You will maintain certain protocols, right? And the other thing which is different here in the group discussion is you would prepare for certain common topics. Later we'll see how can you expect certain topics and how can you prepare. Now one is preparing for the topic, the technical area, the subject, the topic. The other thing is mentally preparing. If you can mentally prepare, sports people today all around the globe, the best of sports people, they mentally condition themselves because it's going to be an important match, it's going to be, it may be a new place, a new team, it may be a World Cup. So there is a mental conditioning coach for the sports teams today. So the mental conditioning coach, maybe the sports psychologist, will help the people in preparing their mind, because most of the things happen in the mind. How do I prepare myself in the mind and be ready for such a new situation? So that is the only difference between a conversation with friends and a group discussion. My idea is to demystify group discussion, simplify it. Don't think it is something very, very different and you have to be a entirely different personality. Forget all that. The last talk I talked about swimming. Same thing applies here. And let us see how somebody can practice more and become comfortable with group discussions. The other difference is there'll be somebody who is observing, somebody who's assessing you. That's the other difference, right? This is something which I would want to alert you. I had a lot of friends during my school days. I have a lot of friends, and our school friends are connected even today. Thanks to WhatsApp, thanks to technology. We are in different parts of the world, we are connected, right? The only catch there is, the only catch is if I have a friend or a company who is going to discourage me when I try to learn new things. For example, this group discussion or GD would require a lot of simulated practice, right? It is not only for getting a job, even to develop your personality. I already said, you want to be a farmer, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to set up a retail shop, you require this skill everywhere to have a conversation with someone. So to have that conversation, you need like-minded people. And if your friend is going to say, friend or friends, I'm going to laugh at you every time, discourage you. Why are you trying all this? You are trying to improve in life. Like this movie which you have seen, that is going to be a barrier. I'm again repeating, friends are important. I have a lot of friends and I value the company of human beings. None of us can be alone. We all need to coexist with people. But in movies, I have observed very clearly as a psychologist, the hero and the hero's friend, who is mostly the comedian, both of them are projected in a way which will resonate with the bulk of the population. What is it? The hero will not be studious. The hero will be fit for nothing. He would not go for any job. He would Others would always scold him as you are useless, you are this, and he would smile at that and he would enjoy, and his friend would also kind of encourage. So this is something which is projected because the director and the producer, they know that this kind of a thing will be a hit amongst the masses. But in the real life, the same actor, the same comedian, they are not like that in the real life. In the real life, they are very respecting of their colleagues. If there is a movie, for example, a lot of people around, they work as a team. The same comedian who makes fun of everybody in the movie, in the real life, he cannot do that. He cannot pull somebody's leg. Can he pull the producer's leg who's investing all the money? He would, tell people, here I am a team person. I will do whatever you want. I will do what the director wants, the producer wants. They would want to show as a team person. Keep this in mind. Enjoy the movies, but forget that in the movie. Don't carry that with you. Don't try to be that same personality that you see in most of the movies. This is something which I want to alert. You need to have the maturity to know that is real, that is movie, this is real. I will enjoy the movie, but I will not emulate that in the real life. The most important thing you need to remember is that you have to attend as many GDs as possible. It can be a simulated GD or a real GD. What is it? What is the simulated GD? You're not going out for a GD. You are arranging for a simulated GD, maybe with like-minded people, some 5 people, 6 people. Maybe your college is arranging for that. So do as many simulated GDs as possible. Even real GDs, whenever you get the opportunity, try to attend as many GDs as possible, because that will give you an exposure. This is beyond merely attending that for a job. It will give you an exposure meeting with new people. It's about conversation, and try to have conversations with as many people as possible, even in your real life, right? Even if you're not looking for a job. Your environment till now, right, has created a certain personality in you. You have a certain personality, right? Certain behavioral pattern. You are confident in certain things. You are not confident in certain things. You have certain behavioral patterns. All this is because of the environment in which you have been till now. You have a desired personality. The personality development is a very common term these days. So you want to attain that personality. GDs or in general, conversations are wonderful tools to change your personality. By talking to people, by talking to new people, right? By talking to people who are more knowledgeable. Most of us are comfortable talking with our friends. Most of us are comfortable talking with people who are less knowledgeable than us. If we are going to um, if you are going to meet somebody who's more knowledgeable, we immediately take 3 4 steps back. Oh, this is not my type of person. We feel small, we want to run away. We need to avoid that. We need to talk with variety of people and be comfortable. And all this is an exposure, it's an experience. It is never a failure. Don't look at it as a failure. There's another problem in our society, right? We are not comfortable failing in certain projects. If we, for example, if I go and talk to somebody new, if I say, hello, I am Krish, I just thought I'll have a conversation. He looks at me and says, but I am busy, and he goes off. Then, especially if I have a friend around me, he will laugh at me. Then I tell myself, next time I will not talk to anybody. If at all that is a failure, it's a mistake, it is perfectly fine. Please, my dear friends, I want to tell you something. Be comfortable with such failures. You have to embrace failure, not deliberately. You don't plan a failure. For example, you don't plan to keep all the arrears and say, Krish only told that day failing is okay. Don't quote me to your professors in the wrong manner. I'm talking about new projects like this, talking to a new person, trying to develop a conversation with somebody new. Maybe sometimes they would talk to you, sometimes they would respond, sometimes they wouldn't respond, sometimes they would negatively respond. All these are perfectly fine. Don't take these things as your failure. Including any group discussion you may attend, you don't do well in the first GD, especially the simulated GD. Don't take it as a failure. Take it as an experience. Learn from that. Improve on that. There is a thinker, an author called Edward de Bono. This particular topic, how to be an interesting person. To tell you frankly, I think my previous talk, I did mention that I also came up the hard way from a family which was financially lower middle class. I had no exposure, and I used to lack confidence. But this book taught me a lot of things. You don't need to buy the book, but just you can take the hints, take the tips from this. So, how to be an interesting person? One, Edward de Bono says, you don't need to know everything. Some people say, I have to know everything to have a conversation with someone. I have to be an expert so that I can talk to someone. Edward de Bono says, no, you don't need to be knowing everything to have a conversation. Even if you know something less, you have more and more conversations. You will know more about various things, but never in your life you can be an expert in everything in this world. There are always moments where you will meet with somebody who knows something more. You may not know what he is actually referring, but you can listen. It is perfectly fine. The second one, being comfortable with people, especially new people. This is another thing Edward de Bono says. The average person is comfortable within his zone. My home, my friend circle, I'm very comfortable. But the moment I meet new people, no, I am not comfortable. I don't want. So Edward de Bono says, it's fine and it's an art to talk to new people, develop new relationships, listen to people. A childlike curiosity. How to be an interesting person? One important thing is, like a child, you have to show curiosity. If somebody says, talking about a satellite, imagine he's a scientist and he's well versed in satellites and all that. And suppose I don't know anything about that. I can show a childlike curiosity in understanding to the extent I can. And like a child, I can ask some questions. We are all hesitating to ask questions because somebody will think, it's a stupid question. Why is he asking? We are all worried about what the other person will think. Be willing to ask questions like a curious child. That's a wonderful quality you can have. And more importantly, be yourself. Be natural. Be yourself. But here is a catch. Here is something you need to do. You are yourself, but at this moment today, you may have certain areas where you may need to develop. Certain things you may need to correct or develop or improve. You be yourself, only develop that part. You'll be yourself. You will learn something from your friend, maybe you will learn something from someone else. For example, you see someone who every time says in a very nice tone, he says, thank you very much, I really appreciate. Suppose somebody says, you can learn that if you feel that sounds very nice. Maybe I can use it. So every time somebody says, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. It's a nice thing. But you'll be yourself. Only that this you are adding to your armory. So next time you say, wow, well, let me use this whenever, but don't try to blindly, copy someone because you have your own natural beauty. Never feel small looking at someone. He or she may be stylish, maybe looking good, maybe having a very good accent. Never ever feel small. Be yourself, but learn different things from different people. Because if you have noticed till now, I am not directly coming to group discussion, how to wear a dress, how to be there, how to start. I'm not coming there because one is that I'm looking long term. I'm looking at transformation of you. You are all my friends, I'm looking at your transformation. I'm looking at long term. And this will automatically cover also your group discussions anytime in the future, right? So let's talk about preparation. Many people make this mistake. What is this mistake? Only a week before or only there is, when they realize that they have to attend some job interview, there is a campus recruitment, they start preparing for this thing called group discussion. In my opinion, like I said earlier, a GD is not only for getting a job. A GD is a wonderful opportunity to improve your communication, the art of conversing with people, networking with people, right? Like I already said, it's like a tea shop or coffee shop conversation, but with certain etiquettes, and you're also ready to talk with new people. Months before the actual GD, you have to start preparing both the topics as well as the methodology, right? Uh, it would be a huge advantage if you can have simulated GDs, because the real GDs may happen whenever some company is scheduling. You don't need to wait till that. Simulate a lot of GDs. Have a network of people. If you have 5, 6 people, that would be sufficient to have simulated GDs. Likewise, what are the current topics, right? You start if you Google uh, GDs for 2020, group discussion topics for 2020, you will get some 10 to 15 common topics, right? And you can start preparing some points, you can add, and then after preparing those points, once you are aware of the current affairs, once you get some points, apply your own thinking. Don't read and don't muck up, or don't just write down the points and keep. Form your own, analyze the situation yourself, form your own opinions about that. What would you tell someone if somebody is asking your opinion? Like you do it in a coffee shop conversation with your friends, you do that. You share with a lot of things. You share about sports, about politics, about economy. You share a lot of things. The same thing, you simulate, and here preparation also includes focused preparation on what is relevant. There are a lot of discussion in the coffee shop which is utter waste. We merely argue to win over the other person. We get a crude satisfaction, right? So those kind of things are not going to help it. That you continue, that's between you and your friends. I am not intervening, but let that be a separate one. Don't mix that with the simulated group discussions. The most important thing is I've bracketed awareness of current affairs, Google for topics, know about what is it happening around, what is relevant for group discussion, and form your own opinions. And even in your mind, you can visualize actually talking about this to a group of people. These topics, you can practice. That's a wonderful thing to do. Some of the topics, if you can see. Last year, Jet Airways crisis, bifurcation of Jammu and Kashmir, Industry 4, even this year it is relevant, even last year it was relevant, Industry 4.0. These are all some of the things. These 3 topics that you can see on the left of the screen involves real, accurate facts and figures. You cannot, talk just by glancing through them. You need to have certain information about that. You need to know. For example, if it is Industry 4 means what? What are some of the salient points? You need to know that. Jet Airways crisis, what is a crisis? Right? Some facts and figures. On the right side, there are some questions, some topics where there's more scope for you giving your own opinions about that. Will artificial intelligence take away job? AI is the topic of the globe. World over, there are discussions about AI. Artificial intelligence, economic impact due to COVID-19. Economic impact due to COVID-19 is a very, very predictable, expected topic. But if you don't prepare, you will get a sorry figure. So prepare some points and add your own originality to that. Should WFH be the new normal? What is WFH? And suppose you are not prepared, you're not aware of the thing, and you go there in the group discussion, suddenly there is WFH, maybe the writer of the board, somebody say, then I ask my neighbor, hey buddy, can you tell me what is this WFH? All that, imagine you like Sandana, in real life it doesn't help. So work from home is another talk, HR talk all over the globe. The new normal, will work from home continue even after COVID? what will be the technological impact or what will be the technological requirements for this. These are all the discussion. And I want to suggest one thing. I want to remind you, you guys have the ability. I want to tell you 100 times. I'm not tired telling you this. You have the capability, and because somewhere, maybe in your school, your teacher would have labeled something. Maybe you are a backbencher, you are fit for nothing, you are fit only to gaze buffalo. Maybe that has transformed you to be continue to be mischievous or indifferent. I am here to tell you. Imagine what Dr. Abdul Kalam would tell when he's going to say all good things about you, all positive things about you. You have the capability, right? And all of the mischievous people at school, later they become the most mature. And inside that humor, behind that mischief, there is a wonderful human being waiting to be tapped. And that is the beauty with you guys. What are those quick tools in any group discussion? Like I said, you would Google, you will know certain topics, and you will get a lot of points. What are the quick tools to organize your thoughts? The first quick tool, anything, say COVID-19. COVID-19 is the topic. How will you organize what, where, why, when, who, how? If you can ask these questions, what is COVID-19, right? Where did it emerge? Where all it has affected? Why is it spreading? When it started, when it is going to end, when it is going to peak? Who? Who are all helping now? Who are all doing well? Who are all the people who are affected? Right? The who of many things. How? How did it spread? How can we contain? How is the economy affected? How can we remedy that? And how can we make use of this opportunity? These are the questions you can ask just by using what, where, why, when, who, and how. Right? There was one poet, Rudyard Kipling, who said, there are 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. And the 6 honest serving men, these are the 6 honest serving men. Right? These are all serving people to you. You ask many questions starting with what, where, and multiple questions under each. You will be able to analyze any of the topic in the world. The other tool is, remember, spelled S-P-E-L-T. COVID-19. What is the social impact it is causing? Society, social, political. Now it is also causing political decision changes. Say US and China, India and China. There are a lot of political impact, economical impact. All of us know, very, very evident. Legal impact. In India, they have changed the law to restrict certain Chinese, not certain, most of the Chinese businesses. Technological, very evident, work from home, Zoom. You know something, after COVID, the last 4 months, the valuation of Zoom has just catapulted somewhere. These are the impact. So these are the ways where you can analyze a topic for any group discussion, or even in general, you want to analyze a topic. These are 2 of the quickest tools you can use. Otherwise, you'll get stuck. Where do I start? How do I start? How do I develop? Any topic, start either with what, where, why, when, and who, or like social, political, economic. Remember, spelled S-P-E-L-T. Then you will remember from all these aspects. Suddenly, something is coming to my mind. Later, Google mind mapping. Please write it down, note it down. Mind maps or mind mapping. Mind maps are excellent tools to analyze the topic. And when you Google it, you will see a lot of actual mind mapping done. You can do mind map for anything. If you're a cricket fan, if you're a CSK fan, you want to analyze CSK as a team, you can use mind mapping. You want to analyze COVID-19, you can do mind mapping. This whole presentation on group discussion, you can use a mind map and you can analyze that. Right? Now, you have prepared. What if a topic is out of syllabus? It's been happening right from our school days. Now we prepare all the way, and in the question paper there is something out of syllabus. So what do we do? It's like the cricket teams which would go, they prepare for all the scenarios. What if it rains? They prepare for different scenarios. So it is perfectly fine to prepare for a case where you have prepared all the current topics, but something is coming out of that. How do you handle? Please remember, this is a good news. The observer, the person who's conducting it, he or she also has to know it to assess you. So it won't be something very difficult, right? So that's one good news. So she won't bring in something out of the planet, and because she wouldn't know how to assess if it were something from out of the planet. They would want people. They want to select people. There are a lot of demand. There's need for recruitment. So they would want people to talk. So they won't give you a topic which is entirely out of the world. They would, and at the moment, if you have Googled, if you have done your research, and if you have prepared for that, you will be, mostly on target because one of those topics would come, right? Remember, if the topic is out of syllabus, which something which nobody predicted, everybody else will also have the same difficulty. Then what happens? Your attitude will help you. What is that attitude? Your ability to think on your feet, your ability to think out of box, right? Quickly managing it. So many people, the average human being will just fumble, the brain won't work and will think, I'm the only one who doesn't know, feeling small, wanting to run away from the GD room, right? Some people will definitely, maybe you will run away also, but that's not the case. When the situation is tough, just be there. And let me tell you, I remember a situation where I was part of a group discussion here in Chennai. It was an office near the city center, Radhakrishna Saleh. I did very badly. I did it very badly. Lack of exposure. Nobody helped me with what is a group discussion. Right? I'm talking about more than 30 years back, right? 35, 34 years back. Right? So I did it very badly. So I'm telling you with a lot of pride. I'm telling you, I failed miserably. I've attended interviews. I've done very badly. There was a company called Sonata Software. It's still there, of course. In Bangalore, I went and attended the interview in Sonata Software. I'm telling you the company's name. The interview for 45 minutes. The person there was so very nice, but he bombarded with questions. I did not answer properly most of the questions. I did not answer. I'm being very frank with you. I missed that interview. At the end of it, somebody had taught me, after the end, at the end of the interview, you can ask the feedback. That will be helpful. And somebody taught me that will create a good impression. So I thought, okay, I'll ask. So I asked him, sir, I know I didn't answer most of the questions, but can you give me any feedback, some helpful tips? He said, I still remember what he said. He said, you have learned something during your education. Now you start learning for yourself. This is what he said. You learn something for the purpose of exams and all. Now you start learning for yourself, which is what I call as learning 2.0. If you remember my earlier presentation, learning 2.0, you are the boss. You're not answerable to anybody. You are the boss. You wrote. So please remember all that. And the last important point, sometimes, rarely, or it may be possible, they may give a very tough topic if they want to test how these people are handling the situation. There may be a case, this is rare, it's not very common, but they may do it if they want a candidate who can think on the feet, who can handle such situations, then they may do it. And even there, you have an advantage if you can visualize this scenario even during your practice, simulated thing. And your simulated practice must include out of syllabus points. That should also be part of your practice. See down what I mentioned, imagined fears. The average human being is imagining all the wrong stuff. The average human being is always fearing that everything would be wrong. Everything would happen in a negative manner. It's very important for us to increase our optimism. It's very important whether you approach an interview or a group discussion, or even when you approach life. Remember Dr. Abdul Kalam. He lived up to, 90 years. He was engaged fully. He was the most positive person. How did he die? He was fully engaged. Even on that day, he was addressing a group of students, and in front of the mic, in the podium. He was talking, he fell down, he reached the feet of God. That is excitement. That is living positively. Negative thinking is not going to help us at any point of time. So, but does it happen naturally? No. We can build that positive attitude every day. Build that positive attitude. Google how to develop positive attitude. Search in Google, search in books, talk to elderly people, talk to matured people, experienced people, how to be positive, how to be an optimist. What to do now? 3 to 4 days before a group discussion, a real group discussion. So what is that someone can do 3 to 4 days before GD? We know preparing 3 to 4 months before or 6 months before, I understood that. On the GD day, you can understand. What is that I need to do 3 to 4 days before every GD? I think you are trying to guess now. This is very important for you, not only for GD, for GD, for interview. Even after, suppose you are going to become an entrepreneur, you may have an appointment with someone. You may have a business appointment. You may have a customer appointment. You may have a sales appointment. These points are going to help you in every aspect of your life. First one, get the location correctly, including your estimated traffic. On a weekday, suppose you have the appointment on a Wednesday. Don't look at the map on a Sunday. On a Sunday, it will be quick. You need to look at it on a weekday, a similar weekday, and check out the traffic, check out the estimated time, buffer 10-15 minutes more, right? Keep your dress and accessories ready, right? Shoe has to be polished, right? If you're not polished, if you're expecting to go out the next 2 to 3 days, the day before, the evening before, you can polish your shoes. But keep the dress for men and women. Keep, I'm telling you very frankly, even if you have one set of official dress, I'm being very frank. Before my first interview, after I qualified, before my first interview, I took my friend along with. My friend had the habit of buying the most expensive shirt, the most expensive pant, shoes, etc. But I did not have that much of money. And I'm even naming him. His name is Narayan, my schoolmate. And I took him to Pondi Bazaar. And I gave him a hell lot of time because I'm talking about more than 30 years back. He used to show me shoes that used to cost 750 rupees in those days. But I was looking for something around 200. The same is the case with a shirt and pant. I still remember I bought a full arm ready-made light blue shirt because a light blue shirt, a white shirt is always considered official on any day, right? So even if you have one set of dress, keep it neat, keep it ready. Because these are all very simple things. What's the connection between this and GD? It has a connection. If you're not prepared well on the day, if these are the things that are going to disturb you, it is going to affect your performance then. In every meeting, in every appointment, not just for a GD. Any document, you have to keep it with you, any invite letter, right? You can't go. Suppose suppose somebody invites me for some meeting. I go there today, right from the security, people are going to, and many of the companies, you cannot enter the compound without your ID. You may go in an auto, you may go in a bus, you may go with your friend. You don't need your driving license. So you keep your wallet at home. You go there, the security is asking, where is your ID to enter? You say, I don't have the ID. You cannot be let inside. You'll be missing that. Not only for a GD, even for a sales meeting tomorrow, a customer meeting, vendor meeting, anywhere. In most of the large campuses, you cannot even enter the compound, leave alone the office. So keep everything ready beforehand. We are talking about GD interview and all that. I want to keep reminding you as a friend, how you do these things will determine how you will do everything else in the future. This is just a rehearsal for your life ahead. You develop these habits, your life will change. You are your boss. You're not doing this for anybody else. You're doing it for your own self. If you are organized and you make it as a habit, your life will change. Okay, now on the day of the group discussion, the GD. Again, I'm telling something which my own experience, I have messed up sometimes, I have done very well sometimes. Reach at least 15 minutes before. We have heard of this term on time. We have been hearing that right from our childhood, be on time. They say, guys, be on time. We want to remind you once again, we think be on time, and on time. Today, most of the cities in India, if you aim to be on time, it does not work. Some metro construction is happening somewhere. I'll tell you, there's something called as a Murphy's Law. In Chennai, my experience, only on the day when you are hurrying, you have an important appointment, the corporation lorry will come and be there. Only on that day. You didn't see that the day before, you wouldn't see that the day after. Surprise. So it's always better to buffer some time. So what are the benefits of before time? Many research today has found that being before time keeps you calm. Your creativity is much, much higher. You are able to think, you're able to plan, you are yourself. The same applies to any exam or any sales meeting, any customer meeting, right? Before time will change your life, will change your ability. Whatever is the work for which you are going there, you will be able to do much, much better. Greet and be warm to fellow participants. Don't go there thinking that there are going to be 10 competitors. You go and sit there, don't look at all of them, all of these beggars, they're all my competitors. I need to eliminate them. Don't think that way. That's not going to work out. Look at them with smile. You need to be very, very warm to fellow participants even before the GD. About 10 to participate, there is no particular rule here. In a rare situation, even 20 may be there, maybe 6 would be there. But on an average, 10 to 12 participants, a moderator from the client side, from the corporate side, will be observing, right? Will moderate also. 5 to 10 minutes, they will give you a topic. They'll give you 5 to 10 minutes to think and frame your points, which would mean you have to take a notebook and a pen. I will tell you something very frankly. This is a secret I'm telling. Even in the corporate, I have observed people, somebody calls for a meeting, the boss calls for a meeting, somebody calls for a meeting, people go there without a notebook and a pen. It is happening. So today is the time. If you remember the last session, I said the Virgin Group CEO, Richard Branson, even when he goes in his own chartered flight, the multi-billionaire global entrepreneur, he likes to have a notebook and a pen. Please remember. So 5 to 10 minutes, think and frame your points. Then approximately 15 to 30 minutes for the discussion. There is no hard and fast rule even here. It may be 10 minutes, it may be 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Depends on the purpose, depends on what the organization has decided. So be prepared for any of this duration. Anyhow, the same duration is to be given for all the parties. So what's your worry? Mentally be prepared. Even a simulated discussion, it's like a batsman or a bowler practicing for T20 and a one-day match. These days rain hits a match and suddenly you have to play, even a one-day match becomes a 2020 match. You need to be flexible and be ready to handle different scenarios. And the moderator will indicate close of discussion. Sometimes it could be a bell. Sometimes the moderator will just indicate, guys, 5 minutes more, or he or she would come and say end of time. So be aware of it. This is one part of the GD. We're going to continue. There's some certain things more you need to understand about the GD. So far we have seen, just to recap, so far, how your preparation starts months before. Understand what are the current topics and you prepare, do a lot of simulated group discussion, try to have conversations with people, right? And 2 to 3 days before the GD, have everything ready. And on the date of the GD, the most important thing, be there before time, not on time. On time does not work. During the GD, the formula that you see on the thing. One is your knowledge or what you know. Sometimes what you can quickly uh, collect regarding the topic they have given. That is one part, your knowledge. The second part is how you communicate that. The third part in a group discussion is interpersonal behavior. Are you smiling at others? Are you courteous to others? You cannot thumb, on the table. You cannot shout. You cannot dominate. You cannot appear to be aggressive, because all that will be watched. So these are the three things: your knowledge, how you communicate what you know, and how you are with others. And it's a kind of fine balancing. You need to dominate, but not by shouting, not by putting down somebody, but with a kind of finesse. In a very nice way, you have to initiate. You have to lead the whole discussion as if you are the boss there. Okay, so the observer should see you as if you are the leader. There might be a possibility there will be one more person or maybe two more people are also demonstrating the same behavior, but no issues. You can also demonstrate the same behavior. You're not threatened by another leader who's there. Introduce yourself. In my experience, where I have been an observer, in an interview or in a group discussion, in any conversation, people have not practiced even this. So how do you introduce? Suppose you are given 10 seconds time, 30 seconds time, whatever. What would be the one thing that you say to impress? How do you say that? How do you, when you start talking about this, how do you wish and then smile and then introduce yourself? Practice. The practice starts right from there. If you are familiar with the topic, initiate. If you can initiate the discussion, it is a big advantage. But for some reason you're not able to initiate, it doesn't mean that you already failed. Please remember this. If you can initiate, if you know the topic, initiate. Don't just for the sake of initiating, don't start something and blabber and then get negative points, right? But if you're an adventurer, you are confident, I can pick up something up, then also you can initiate. But never tell something which you don't know. It will be a negative. The most important thing is relax. How to relax? Take some deep breaths. They should not see. Don't do pranayama and all that. That's not what I'm saying. Take some couple of deep breaths. You will relax. Ask inside yourself. You ask yourself to relax. If you are feeling tense, if you are somebody who's relaxed already, perfectly fine. Congratulations. Listen, listen, listen. Even when somebody is starting, you have an advantage, because as that person is starting, as you are also thinking, you're having the notebook and the pen, jot down points. You're thinking, you're getting more points. So you have an advantage. That's another thing which you can do. If you're not initiating, start as early as possible. As early as possible. Maybe the second person, maybe the third person. And quickly write down the points. Quickly think. Brief points. Don't keep writing full-fledged notes. Just the brief point. This is also something you need to practice during your simulated thing. You should learn how you write one word, and using that one word, which is a trigger, you'll be able to explain something about it. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes about that one word. You should develop that art. And this is possible. 1, you have prepared. 2, you have practiced a lot of GD. And 3, you are calm and relaxed. The most important thing, whatever you observe with the other people, you be yourself. Be courteous. Say, thank you, that was a wonderful point. Smile at people. Courtesy has to be there in the body language, in your eyes, in your smile, in your tone, the way you look at people, the way you keep your hand, right? Don't sit like you're sitting in a park. Don't sit like you're in a business class in an airline. I'm telling you, there may be another person who's doing that. Maybe somebody who's so very cool and is down like in an airline business class. Don't worry about. Just be yourself. That's the secret. In case of doubt, stick to the normal courtesy. Sit normally, right? Like you will sit in any official meeting. but don't be so very rigid. People should not see that you are scared. There's something wrong with this guy. He's already scared. Don't do all that. Okay. Do not be aggressive and do not dominate. There's something very, very important. Many people think that if I need to show my presence, that I need to be aggressive, or I should not. I should do something to show my presence. But if you're aggressive, it will be my negative point. Likewise, you are trying to dominate by your voice, by not allowing, right? By not allowing others to talk, then it becomes a minus point. Be accommodative. Be accommodative. Your job as part of GD, is to accommodate others, to engage and motivate others. That's one thing that you will be expected to do. I keep getting a message. Please move this window away from share. I don't know. Is it for me? Okay, let me continue. I hope you are able to hear me. So the most important thing, apart from your knowledge and what you are trying to do there, the most important thing is all the manners, the good manners that you can think of. The grace in all that, the way you talk, the way you smile at people, saying please, thank you, and even the tone in which you talk, can it be very, very gracious? There has to be confidence in the voice, at the same time, a gentleness, a sweetness, confidence and gentleness together. That's the amazing formula. And I'm telling you today, most people who come there may not have. I have a feeling that even today, this is in demand. Being graceful is in demand today. On any day, you will win. Let's talk about the body language and tone. I want to explain this another psychology in this. We are all having certain habits, certain traits, including body language, tone, the way we speak and all that. We are unconscious of it. I call that as the unconscious old. There is unconscious old habits. I'm not even conscious that my tone is very aggressive, for example. I don't intend, but people who are listening to me would say, you are very rough. And I'm unconscious about it. So you start with unconscious old, and from there you move to conscious practice of the right tone, of the right language, right body language. Why you are saying conscious? You are consciously practicing. You are aware that you are practicing. And then it becomes your unconscious user. What is an unconscious user? It is now part of you. It has become part of you. Now you don't need to be conscious. When you go to the GD after you have transformed yourself, during the GD, you are not conscious. You're not telling yourself, I will sit like this, how is my hand? You are just there naturally having a conversation. But before that, that's why I said the preparation starts much before. So from an unconscious old to through a conscious practice of the right body language, the right tone and all, then it becomes part of me and it becomes second nature. I'm very, very casually able to do that, right? During the GD, focus on the topic and the participants. Don't be too conscious, because if you are conscious, how is my hand, how is my leg, how am I sitting? If you are going to do that only after going to the location, you are not going to focus on the topic. Your mind will get confused. It's like the batsman. The batsman has practiced during the net practice. The footballer, the goalkeeper or the player, he has practiced enough. There on the ground, he's just unconscious. He's just himself. That is what you need to aim. You love to lead, it's part of your nature, start straight away. Right? It depends on your preference, etc. But if you feel I'm not familiar with the topic, wait. but be alert. Listen, think, take notes, start as soon as possible. I've repeated it all. You can disagree with people. You can take points from other people's and then develop it. Don't repeat the same thing. Don't tell, yeah, what you said is correct. What she said is correct. Then people are going to laugh at. Don't repeat what they said. But when you are listening to others, using that you can also get new points on the table, and you can always disagree gracefully. Like I've heard some people, no, I don't agree with you. Yeah, it's very rough and negative. In a nice way, I would like to. I would beg to disagree with you in a nice tone. You made a wonderful point, but the other thing, I would want to disagree with you, with due respect to your knowledge and experience. You put it this way, you will score a brownie point. And even as the GD is happening, keep taking notes. And if you have the opportunity, if you can summarize at the end, wonderful opportunity. Again, you score a brownie point. Silence is not golden at all. If you are remaining silent, this is not the place. Don't remain silent. And like I said, even if you're not familiar with the topic, show your attitude there. Think on your feet. Think creative. Talk something. Because nobody's going to shoot you. They're not going to shoot you if you have told something wrong. But only after you are prepared and you find, okay, I prepared, I did my job, but here is a topic which I don't know. Okay, let me handle the situation. Right? Don't remain silent. Try to pick from other people's points, be smart, be gracious, and then disguise your ignorance, and then try to smartly handle that thing. The most important to you, my friends, my dear young friends, there are no failures in life, not only in GD, even in life. You may have failed many times in your school, you may have failed in this, you may have failed in that. Pat yourself for those failures, because each of those failures will teach you something in life. Like you're all belonging to the Dr. Kalam Club. I call it as Abdul Kalam Club. There'll be a time in life where all those failures will shoot you up to skyrocket. Please remember this. In general, more weightage, as you can see on the screen, is given to knowledge, the group behavior, how we are collaborating with people, the leadership, listening and initiative. But please listen to it carefully. This is not a fixed pattern. Each company can have, it can just be 3 or 4, it can be 10. The percentage the weightage can also differ from company to company. But in general, what stuff you're talking, what's the content that you are sharing, that will be important. That will be given weightage. How you are sharing it, how you are communicating it. And 3, how you are collaborating with others, how you are with other people, how are you listening to others. Sometimes there may be a rare case where the company has decided, the organization who is recruiting has decided, I want somebody who can be creative, who can think on the feet. Then they may give an entirely new topic, and only they may give maximum weightage to who is this person who is handling the situation with. So it may vary from company to company. This is what I think. So wish you all success. I have tried to give one, a bird's eye view, 2, a long-term perspective, 3, I've tried to go deep into your personality. Don't look at it as only GD. Look at it as an opportunity to have a lot of conversations. This should be your way of life. You are already a good conversationalist with your friends, in a coffee shop, in an informal setting. Develop that further. Remember the march past example I said, walking and march past. March past is not entirely different. It is just a walking in a more structured way protocol, right? So I wish you all the very best. Thank you again for listening to me very patiently. I want to tell you for the 100th time, you guys are going to rock. You guys are going to rule the future world. And I wish you all success, all the very best.
Yeah. So, dear students, Now you can post your questions now
Don't ask
in the
difficult
chat
questions
box.
here. Ask some
Then,
easy questions.
sorry. Yeah.
I did not talk about the dress code and all that because I'm sure they would have covered when talking about interview skills and all that. Same thing would apply here as well. Okay,
Chat.
I'm able to see a question.
Acha.
How do I?
1 minute. Open out the chat box.
Ma'am, I just saw one question which is really important. Someone asking. So how do I handle if somebody else is dominating in the group? That's a wonderful question.
Yeah.
So even if somebody else is dominating, you don't put that person down. It's not your job to put that person down by equally dominating. You will very graciously deal with that. If you can show leadership skills by saying, my dear friend, let us also listen to others, or you can respond to that person in a very nice manner. If you have a content, if you want to share some content if you want to share some content to respond to the other person, you can use the content, right? You can use that content to respond. If it is just dominating, somebody is aggressive, you have nothing to do, it's not your job. But you play your role well. You share your points very well. That's your job. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Sir, one more question from the student. So the fluency of English should be considered very important or not? The question is, the fluency of English should be considered very important or not, sir?
Okay, I will answer it in two parts. One part is 6 months before the GD. You know that after 6 months you are going to probably start attending GDs and all that. 6 months before, you can be conscious of your accent, your fluency, you practice English, that will be important. On the day or during the GD, don't be conscious of your fluency. Now, just be yourself, be natural. If at all you want to improve your fluency, if you want to improve your tone, etc., do it months before. If possible, 1 year before. If possible, 6 months before. But I want to tell you, my dear friends, don't feel bad. Some of you may have studied in a Tamil medium or other non-English medium. Don't feel bad. I gave you examples during my last presentation. Dr. Abdul Kalam. Many great people have come from non-English medium. They are rocking in their life. So don't feel bad. Just practice. It's only a matter of time. You would win the world. Yes,
so one more question, sir. How do the HR select in group discussion? The question, how do HR select in group discussion?
Okay, is it the topic or how do they select the person?
Yeah, persons are in the group discussion.
Okay. Now, in general, the HR would choose somebody who has a combination of this. What is this combination? The person has shared good content, has a reasonable knowledge of the topic, right? Which is content. Second is the person had communicated well. 3, he had also been gracious to the other team members. These are the 3 main categories. And I showed you a weightage. The weightage is, the HR to HR, they may differ. But the main thing would be what is communicated, how the person is communicating, which is there any clarity? If there are small errors in English here and there, if your content is very good, they may excuse that. But months before, don't keep these things in mind. Your job is to improve your English. Whatever be your mother tongue, today English has become a global language, right? Today there are farmers. I know some of my classmates in school, they were farmers even then. They are there in the rural areas. They speak very good English. They're interacting with others. So that is the approach. Yes, ma'am.
So one more question, sir. A student, how do I include my point of interest among the participants if they do not seem to be interested and like-minded?
Okay,
So
that's
you, yeah,
another interesting question. One thing you keep in mind, what the other participants do, whether they show interest or not, it will not affect you if you are mentally prepared for that. It's a good question. I think this should be noted by other participants as well. If they are not showing interest, if they are not listening, for example,
yeah,
it would be a minus point for them. But if you are handling even that, then you will score a positive point there by handling people, by handling other people who are dominating, by remaining relaxed and focusing on what you have to say, right? You score a point every time. Yes, ma'am.
yeah. So 1 minute, sir. Students, any other question? One final questions from the student side. Yeah, I think, sir, the question has been, yeah, one more question has come, sir. So if I don't have an idea of the, sir, well, the question is, if I don't have the idea of the topic, how do I manage?
Okay. So now, like I said, you have done all the preparation, you have done your homework. But on the day of the GD, when you are there during the GD, you find that it's out of your preparation. So having gone there you only demonstrate your attitude, how you think on the feet. And first, just it's not the end of your life, right? Just be relaxed. Start listening to right from the word go. Somebody else is talking. Listen, jot down some points, and try to squeeze some point from somebody. Add some dimension and talk. Your attitude will count in such a situation.
So, wow, yeah, one more question, sir. That is now only they are giving more 2 or 3 questions, sir.
No
That is,
problem, ma'am. No
yeah.
problem.
So, one more question: how to handle if you lack in the middles? That is, if you try to lack in the middle, in the group discussion.
Can you come again the question?
So, how to handle if we lack in the middle?
Lack in the middle.
Yeah.
How I interpret this question is during the group discussion. When the group discussion is on in the middle, when it is on during the conversation in the middle, maybe I'm lost, maybe
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So the solution will be relax, listen to others, have that notebook and the pen, because the notebook and the pen will help you to think. You can jot down some points, right? Just try to get some points, and then share your points to the best of your ability. Two things. It is, don't take these things as failure. It's not the end of life, right? And you always gain something as an experience. I shared with you an experience where I did miserably. I am doing very well in life, right? Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, Dhoni, PV Sindhu, Mary Kom, all of them have failed. All great people have failed in some aspect. But after they have prepare well, then it's okay if you have failed.
Yeah. So
Yes, ma'am.
2 more questions, sir. One question is, sir, if we content, but we don't interact very often, like disagreeing with other person, but somehow I talked will be considered. Suppose they try to disagree, will they consider the talk? The question is,
I got the point. So you have some content, you have something to talk, and you are sharing to the best of your ability, right? You will score some points for that. And mind you, if there are say 10 people, each one will get only about 2 to 3 minutes, right? And if of the 10 people, 2 or 3 people are not talking, then you can win their time. You can, as far as you are gently sharing your conversation, it is perfectly fine. And if you are not disagreeing, if you don't have any reason to disagree, it is fine. But if you have a reason, genuine reason why you don't agree with somebody else, you can very gently tell the person why you disagree. You can disagree if you have a reason. If you don't have any reason, you don't want to do, then don't need to disagree.
yo, yeah, excuse me. Yeah, so students, we try to stop the chat session now. So A vote of thanks on behalf of SRM IST FSH, Director Academics, and Dean and staff members and students of Vadapalani campus. I thank Mr. Krish Venkat of giving a valuable information about group discussion. Sir, your talk has given our students an idea of how to crack the GD so that they can infiltrate in any corporate interviews. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable experience and information, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank
Again,
you.
sir.
I thank you, ma'am. Thank the institution, and more than anything else, I thank all the wonderful participants, the future leaders of this world. Thank you for listening to me. All the very best. God bless you with the best of all good things in life. Keep rocking. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, students, try to fill the feedback form. Fill the feedback form to get the certificate. Thank you, students.